Let's give Gilbert a round of applause. Thank you, Gilbert. That wonderful, wonderful prelude. And for whatever that was.
I just thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to Miracle Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Jerry Lawson, H. Jerry Lawson, and I'm your practitioner today. April 14th, 2024, order of service. Our monthly theme is Giant Gentleness, and our weekly topic title is The Other in Love. We are reflections of each other as we cultivate gentleness for ourselves. We recognize love expressing itself as the others in our lives. And now if you would just put your feet flat on the floor and just take a nice cleansing breath, we'll do the invocation. Infinite Spirit, in whom we live, move, and have our being, we acknowledge the presence and power of God and know that that presence and power is right here active in the Miracle Center for Spiritual Living today. Active in our musical genius, our Zoom genius, active in myself, and most active in our minister today, Reverend June Clark. We know that God is working through each and every word that she says and each and every thing that she does. And we know that today's service is blessed and that we are blessed. And for all of those out on Zoom, we just give thanks. And if you're in agreement with me, you can say with me, and so it is.
So it is.
And so I let it be. Amen and amen and amen. Good morning again.
Good morning.
How is everyone today?
Fantastic.
That's good. I heard fantastic. That's all I need. I'm fantastic too. Our affirmation today is, all my relationships are love informed. And you say that with me. All my relationships are love informed. And let's just say it one more time. All my relationships are love informed. And let's just let that soak in for a minute. Love informed. Our monthly theme is, in those flashes when we are conscious of our oneness, there is an openness and an all-encompassing love. In all the other moments in our lives, we need or really deserve giant gentleness. This month, we remember that gentleness is a powerful thing, and giant gentleness opens us up to who we say we want to be. It lets all the moments of our lives be sacred and holy, even the sucky ones. Each week, we expand our awareness of gentleness. Starting with ourselves, we acknowledge how we can allow all the moments to be for our highest and best. We move beyond judgment and embrace active compassion in our relationships with others. We breathe gentleness into our communities, our politics, let's say that again, and our activities. Finally, we celebrate the moments of embodying the giant and continuing the journey. Summary of today's topic: people are lovely when they are kind, loving, and know what you want them to be. And they are also fickle, opinionated, and judgmental. They can't help themselves. Is that when everything gets messed up? We want to blame others for things going wrong when in fact it is our judgments of others that get in the way. As you apply gentleness to your interactions with others, you can truly allow them to be their gentle selves. From that place, you can make clearer decisions for your own lives. Science of mind point of view. Science of mind point of view. We are one, energy in myriad forms, individualized expressions of the divine. Each one of us is sacred and holy. The other person, place, or thing is none other than the expression of love itself. Where no one and nothing is for us or against us, it all simply is. When we let the love that is within us go out to the God who is in all people, then we are loving God with all of our heart and with all of our soul and mind, because we are recognizing that the spirit within us is the same spirit that we meet in others. This is loving our neighbors as ourselves. Earnest tones. And now we have a song for you, followed by Reverend June. The song is Goodness of God by C.C. Winans. So sit back and relax and listen to our music. And now, we present Reverend June.
Ooh, that beautiful song. Not much else to say, is there? Wow. So good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's beautiful, wonderful to be here. Beautiful day. So, we start this morning, the other in love. The other being the multiplicity of others that exist, the multiplicity of people, the multiplicity of things, the multiplicity of the faces of God. We got a lot to love, and we got a lot of love coming back to us within this universal allness. So this morning, the bulletin starts with our relationship with others can challenge the very foundation of our principles. And that's the mirror of the physicalness, the mirror of creativeness that we have in our bathrooms, in our houses, as you see in various places, mirrors that sometimes you might walk into, like I did when I was a kid, because I just got hypnotized by that other image. I don't know if that's ever happened to you before, but it's very strange. But you can be so hypnotized by yourself that you just continue going forward, and there you are. So all of the mirrors that you can think of in the times that we see something to mirror who we are, if we are realistic, we can look at every single thing that occurs, I was thinking every living object, but I think if we look at the inanimate objects that we choose to look at, that we choose to see ourselves in as an extension of who we are, that too is a mirror. What's that painter that you like, Jerry? The painter that you have the book by at home. The painter. The book that you have the painter of. What is it, Jack? Yes. Dali. If you go to Jerry's house and you look at the book that the artist Dolly is a picture of his paintings, and you look this way, then you look that way, and then you turn the book around and turn it this way. He likes that. He likes that a lot. That's a mirror of his interest, of his, that speaks to his soul. Or you may look here in our bookstore, and we have this huge picture of an angel that was painted by Wally. And it too is a mirror of his soul, of what he painted. And if you have any of the paintings that Wally did when he was living, I have several I have small ones on my refrigerator that are magnets, and they speak to me. And that's a mirror of what I like, who I am. And there's Rembrandt, and I mean, goodness, I could just go on all morning and name names of artists. And what kind of music do you like? What turns you on for peace, and what turns you on for, I want to get out and boogie, and what turns you on for, oh, I'm just going to go to bed and I'm going to put this music on or this sound on for at least 15 minutes. It's going to take me right into that meditative state. All of those are mirrors of self. What color do you like? What color do you lay out like I did to wear this morning? Nope. There was a couple of them. Nope, that's not it. So wound up with this. It's a mirror of where you are at the moment. It's not just looking into that reflection, which I have come to understand by reading and being told that the mirror is an opposite image of who you are. And if you have ever tried to comb your hair, I'm right-handed, so my right hand to comb my right side of my hair is very interesting in the mirror. Or if you're trying to button something or put something up here around your neck and you're looking in the mirror, I don't know about you, but for me it gets very confusing because it flips the imagery, and I feel like a blooming idiot sometimes trying to stand up there, well, if I do this, but that's a mirror. It's a reflection of what is. So we start with mirror. Our relationships with others can challenge the very foundation of our principles. And I'm going to go very quickly through our principles because this is the mirror of our soul. It is the, what do I say? It's the path that we walk without having all these words inscribed right in front of our eyes or right up there on our viewer, whatever we look at. It doesn't show up, except that it does show up in our consciousness because it is what we believe. I believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. The one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. I believe in the incarnation of spirit in man, and that all men are incarnation of the one Spirit. I believe in the internality, the immortality, and the continuality of the individual soul forever and ever expanding. I believe that the kingdom of heaven is within myself, and that I experience this kingdom to the degree that I become conscious of it. I believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. I believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. I believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. I believe in the direct revelation of truth through the intuitive and spiritual nature of man, and that any man may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. I believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it. I believe in the healing of the sick through this power of this mind. I believe in the control of conditions through the power of this mind. I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. I believe in my own soul and my own destiny, but I understand that the life of man is God. Wow. I believe in all of that. And all of that is a mirror of the universal allness of all people and all things. Now, when I sighed when I finished reading that, I say, that's quite a commitment to have resting on this body and every action that I take. But I don't have to memorize these principles of science of mind. I don't have to know them in perfect order, just like treatment. Does it really matter if you start with giving thanks? Maybe that's really what, well, as if I should be the one to say, but wherever you start, recognizing God is what matters. So there are many, many opportunities for us to relate to the principles that because we believe in the science of mind, we believe in these principles, we believe in this teaching, that it just comes to us because we believe. And if we have doubt, all we have to do is say, I am that I am. I am peace. I live. God is, I am. We don't need to stop and say, oh my goodness, I don't remember the principles, so I don't know what to do, I don't know what to be, I don't know how to act. We just know who we are and we act accordingly. So looking at the bulletin here, the more you love yourself and who you are, the more love shows up in your relationship with others. So you are proof. You are proof of the principles of science of mind, the attributes of God, the readings and the essence of the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, any religious belief that has been put down in word, if not in word, in symbol. This is love. This is who we are. And the joy is that there's so many different heights, there's so many different weights, there's so many different colors of eyes, of hair, of every single thing, entity that is human and non-human, that all you have to do, if you can, and we're blessed that we can, is open your eyes. I open my eyes that I may see the vision of God. Not sure of all the words, I'll just say, surrounding me. So that's all we have to do to know that the love within us is so powerful, so huge, that we can give it away and it just continues to expand itself. There's nothing like, oh my goodness, I gave that love and I showed kindness to somebody. Now I got to go and replace it. Where do I go? No, 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 no. It's within us. It is us. It is Jesus the Christ. It is Buddha. It is every religious entity, every good, Reverend Teresa. It is everything, everyone that is, I say, holy, that is living being currently on this earth, that has blessed us in the past, and we study their divinity. It just is. So we are this perfect mirrors of these folks, things, beings that have lived and left their presence. You see, they left their mirror image within us. They left their mirror images with us. That's why these artists that are blessed with this talent, no matter whether their art speaks to you, that is their way of showing their love to the rest of us through what they can create. And you can create. I can create. What I create, maybe you say, oh, she needs to try again. Whatever. I don't care. It's what I created, so I love it. And that should be the way you are. And you should be able to look at another person's art, so to speak, which to me, the art of who another person is their beingness, their personhood, the way they speak, the way they carry themselves. Who are they around that you feel comfortable around? Because that's a mirror of who you are. If you are around people that within 10 minutes you want to go somewhere else or be somewhere else, then do that. Because that's a good sign, I think, that maybe that's not a good image for you. Doesn't make them right, wrong, or indifferent. It just means that whatever is showing up in your mirror image is maybe not compatible, maybe just needs to wait a while and look at it a little while longer, or whatever. Just follow your imagery that you got, that makes you happy, that makes you joyful, and makes your love grow within yourself. This is just some interesting notes that I got here. This teaching says that our relationships mirror our own ideas, beliefs, and judgments. Judgments. What do we not judge? It's a word. We say, oh, she's just judging that. Of course. If you don't want to say judge, Reverend Leora and I used to say ethical appraisal. We are EAI. When we see something and we don't want to call each other out, like, what are you doing judging that? We say, you're doing an EAI. So if that feels better, do an ethical appraisal. And you ought to. You really ought to. Why would you, simply, why would you buy the makeup that is shown on television by 30 different companies, buy one that's going to make you look like a clown? Why? And that covers most women. Covers women. But for men, why would you buy a tool that is advertised to take screws out of a board, and it only has one wide blade. Why would you do that when you want to take screws out of a board that ought to have a narrow blade? Use your judgment, your ethical appraisal, and it's okay to have judgment because you really ought to. Otherwise, I got a igloo in that would work on the equator that I'd like to sell you. You know, we're not people who just take stuff because it looks good or it tastes good or whatever. We do an appraisal along with it. Being angry or hurt based on the actions or words of another is part of the human experience. When have you not been hurt? When have you not been upset by another person's opinion or ethical appraisal or judgment or whatever you want to call it? Of course, unless you're different than me, we've been hurt. We've been challenged, which is sometimes good, that people can challenge us to get along, little doggy, like get off of that. So it's okay. It's okay to be told or suggestions be made or to even see, the eyes roll or whatever. That's sometimes I say whatever. Because who is the one that makes the final decision? You. Just because someone else thinks something, what do they say? You're going to jump off the bridge just because somebody else does? Seems like that is a reference back to my teenager years wanting to do something. Seems like mother or father at least once said that. Just use your judgment, use your appraisal. What do you see in the mirror of the coexistence of life? But what if it's not so much about what they did or what they said as how you feel about it? To me, that's the key. How do you feel about what is said or what is done to you? And does it matter? And it's like, what do they call them? Rhetorical questions. You don't really have to answer it. Does it matter if you let them know that what they say really doesn't matter? Is that important to you? Is that part of your mirror image? Well, they did that, they said that, so I gotta get them back. I gotta tell them off. I gotta let them know. I don't know if it's right or wrong. It depends on how you see and what you see in your mirror that makes you comfortable and makes you feel complete and makes you feel good. Well, I won't carry on with that. Another comment here. What happened to you is not your fault, but what you do with it after that is your responsibility. When I chose to use these words, it made me very conscious of my mirror. It made me very conscious of who I am as an individual. How do I relate to people? How do I love? How do I use these principles of science of mind in order to function in this world? Because I don't think that everybody on this planet likes me. I really don't. Because I don't like everybody on this planet. For one reason, because I haven't met most of them. And for another reason, there is nothing wrong with liking, not liking. For me, there is something wrong if you choose not to accept the word love in your beingness toward other people. Because love has such a broad brush that it paints the world with. With this awareness and the gentleness you are cultivating, you can redefine any aspect of your life at any time, anytime. And thank goodness for me that is true. When I look back, I won't go back to teenage time, but thank goodness I don't think the same way I thought when I was 15. I have redefined my opinion on just about everything that I thought at 15 till now. I can look back at even yesterday, coming up with a conclusion about something, sitting down, eating breakfast, get up and read the same thing that I read in preparation for this talk this morning, and saying, oh no, that doesn't fit. It fit 20 minutes ago. It doesn't fit now. That's okay. So react in your mirror of life. React instantly with thinking back and forward on what it is that you want your life to be. Just because you make a move towards something does not mean that you cannot move in a different direction. And I would venture to say that 99.9% of those within my voice have changed their mind about many, many important things in their life, about many, many important people in their life. So sometimes things occur in one's life. Just a very quick personal note. Yesterday, I called a cousin, and she is the daughter of my first cousin, whose wife passed away very recently. I had not seen that young lady since I think she was about 9 years old. Now she's married, has children that have graduated from college. And I, of course, knew her, and one could say that I loved her because she's a cousin. I talked to her for about an hour. And the feeling, the inward feeling toward her, I don't know what she looks like now. She's a grown woman. She's got grown children, and so do I. But whatever I thought about her prior to this conversation has just disappeared. And I have this whole feeling and image, inner energy about her. See, you can change on a dime, as they say. You can have one experience 1 minute. So before I made the phone call, it was this way. After the phone call, it's that way. So we can mirror whatever we want to mirror in our lives and move forward with it and seek a newness about it and be very, very happy in it. So our next segment here in our bulletin is giving space. So sometimes, for whatever reason, it's time to love someone from a distance, to give yourself physical space and distance from the other. While we are indeed one energy, we humans are individualized expression, giving ourselves space and time to determine what is right for us is one of the healthiest and gentlest we can do for ourselves and others. Staying away, moving away, it's okay. It is okay, sometimes it is necessary. In a response that came immediately up in my mind, if you are we'll say you are married, if you are in a relationship, if you are two of you in this relationship, they say if you're a female and you're abused, there are males that are abused also. If you're in a female-female relationship, obviously it's one. If you are in a male-to-male relationship, somebody, the opposite partner, is going to be being abused. Wives abuse husbands, husbands abuse wives, partners go back and forth just like everybody else. So they say, why didn't you leave? And then the response that I have seen or heard, I just couldn't, or because of my children, or I didn't know where to go. And one might say, that sounds like an easy thing to do. It is not. Any reason you are in a paired experience, or if you are in an experience with you're the one and there are 30 other people in that experience, and there is something that you are unrelatable to, why do you stay? That's all I'm saying. Why do you stay? Can we use that judgment, which can go either way, about someone, oh, you got a black eye, or you're going into work and you're wearing long sleeves because you're getting banged on the arm? Can we say, just go? Why do we stay in situations? I can't give you the answer. I can't give you that answer for myself. But it's something to think about, giving space to yourself, to anything that is toxic in your beingness, anything that is toxic to these principles of science of mind. Be it parent, whatever. I won't go on with it because I know you know what I mean. This gentleness, all relationships are sacred and holy. And that's just a given truth, because love is complete, sacred, and holiness. This giveness is in how we see those around us and ourselves. So we're doing the seeing, so we're doing also the judgment and the ethical appraisal. It is expanding and growing. Practicing it keeps it alive for us and sends subtle reminders everywhere. Let's keep this gentle energy going and growing. No condemnation, no second thoughts. Why would you give second thoughts? But we do. I know I do, and if I do, I'm no more or no less human than you do. If it's toxic, if it is not working, take care of yourself. So the next, let's see, giving space, got some more on that. When we are too close to things, when we are too close, things can get muddled and confusing. Loving and respecting ourselves means being clear on what works for us and what doesn't. Loving, respecting ourselves allows us to figure out what we figure out when we are unclear. It is so easy, and I say this because I know it is easy. The ostrich, sticking its head in the sand. Who knows why it does it? God created ostriches, so God knows. It is so easy to turn away from anything that is uncomfortable to truly look at and see on its face value. It's very uncomfortable. And if I would use the word, it weakens one from standing in your own power. Your own power is the power of God, and that's what we stand in. Stand in your own power when you make your decisions about every single thing in your life. Taking our feelings into meditation and treatment can give us that space. Sit down. If you don't like closing your eyes, just get a visual of, you can do a visual of not even seeing, and that sounds weird, but after a point that you can just relax into yourself and you don't physically see what you're staring at. Stare at the wall that's plain is an easy way to do it. But see what is really going on in your life according to these principles of science of mind. Take the time and the energy to pull up affirmations. Take the time and the energy to walk over and pick up that Bible, pick up that Science of Mind textbook, pick up the telephone and call a practitioner. Pick up the phone and ask someone to listen to you. Do not tell me anything. I'm not in that mood. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want you to say anything to me. Listen to me. And when I am complete, I will say thank you and I will hang up. Sometime, or write it down. Write it down. Some people journal. I've never gotten to the point where I like journaling. I just don't. Write it down. Tear it up. Very graphic. Put it in the toilet. Whatever you need to do, flush it down. Burn it. Whatever you need to do, get rid of it and move on. Counseling and journaling are also are valuable options to gain this lucidity. Certainly counseling from a religious science practitioner who will not tell you what to do, but will listen to you and speak your truth in a different way than maybe you have viewed it. And you will proceed from that point, and you will proceed and proceed until you are sure that you have changed yourself into what it is that you want to do. If it doesn't change at that moment, go back, check it out again. It's another 5 minutes, it's another 2 hours, it's another 20 minutes, it's another day, it's another month, whatever you need to take. Always be continuously looking in your mirror to find out if you are in charge of your own life, if you are standing in your own power. None of us is perfect in expression as we ought to be. So the challenge to each of us is to be significant enough to rise in love and charity through understanding and compassion. And that's by Ernest Holmes, 365 Science of Mind. It's a different book than the textbook. 365 Science of Mind on page 61. And another quote from this book, when we let the love within us go to the God who is in all people, then we love God with all our heart and mind because we recognize that the spirit within us is the same spirit that we meet in others. This is loving our neighbors as ourselves. And that's from Ernest Holmes, 365, book, page 34. So in the conclusion and call to action, there's quite a bit here for you to read. I chose toward the bottom of the second paragraph. Loving ourselves is loving the other. Loving the other is loving ourselves. How much closer than that can you get to the mirror image? Loving ourselves is loving the other. Loving the other is loving ourselves. Reaching for the outpouring of the divine givingness. Reaching, hands open, not going as many leaders, I'll just say, leaders of the world today are going toward each other just like this. And even beyond that, but like this, so closed. If there was sand in my hands and I'm like this, little tiny bits going to start seeping out, just a little bit. But as you open your hands, more and more of what is being clung to by each individual, we'll say country, and attitude, is going to seep out. But if you come like this, it's all going to just run in freedom. And maybe the opinions are not the same, but they're out there. And you can think and you can be in your own power and you can speak your word. Because what your word is, your Christness, your godliness that is going to be spoken. So in divine givingness, open hands, an active compassion allows our beloveds to be themselves. Everyone that we interact with, that we choose to have in that chosen circle of who we are, allow them to be who they are. And if they are toxic, there's a way to be of distance from it, unless you choose. The choice is yours. It also gives us the space to find our balance and perspective. So I'm going to have Laverne come up before we do the song so that we don't run out of time. And I want you to hear the song through also.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Uh-oh, I brought the wrong paper up. What a beautiful day today. Yes. Every day. This teaching says our relationships mirror our ideas, beliefs, and judgments. The only place you can interact with others looks just like you. Being angry or hurt based on the actions or words of another are part of the human experience. But what if it's not so much about what they did or said as how you feel about it? How will you practice active compassion in your relationships? How do you recognize your thoughts, beliefs, and judgments showing up as your best friend? How about homeless people on the street? How are you gentle with those in your life? Love is kind, gentle, and understanding. It is tolerant of others and reaches back through indifference and coldness to life, to something warm and pulsating at the very center of everything. How about that? From Ernest Holmes, Science of Mind magazine, October 1993, page 17. And so it is. So it is.
Thank you, Laverne. Going to let this song play, and I'll have Chris bring it down, and we'll go into treatment. Thank you, Bruno Mars. It's interesting. His music has quite a wide range. So let's turn our hearts and our minds to what is on your heart and on your mind, and bring it forth from the heart to the mind, to the knowingness of God. As we give our prayer to the ear of God, who is everywhere present, who is all there is, who is all-encompassing, omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, knowing that the presence of God is simply one within us, as us, in, through, and as every object, inanimate object, every animal species, just all. All there is God expressing. So with that overwhelming knowledge and awareness of where we are within this oneness, we are one emanation of it. Each individualized expression of us is an expression of God. That magnificence is who we are. That truth is who we are. That love is who we are. That beingness, that prosperity, that perfect health, that mental acuity, that lovely, lovely essence of truth, the energy of being a friend, being a lover, being a whatever it is in life that we can be, because there is such a multiplicity that I cannot name it. But we can recognize this oneness within us because we speak directly into the heart and the mind of God, the one that we are a part of. Speak your word in simplicity, out loud, in writing, in song, in verse, any way that you can express yourself through the essence and the truth of who you truly are. Bring to mind those who have made their transition. Bring to mind those who need our prayer. Jerry has informed me his brother needs our prayer, is in the hospital. Another person to add to your prayer list. Bring those whom you know need prayer. Those we see on the street corners, those we pass on the street. Everywhere present, there are people, ideas, noise on the TV. Everything is to pray for. And it's so easy. Just speak your heart to the God within. It is heard. It is acted upon. Seen or unseen, it is acted upon. Know that this is our truth with grace and ease, and accept it, that it is done with grace and ease. I release these words and the words of your heart and the words of your mind into the heart and the arms of God, because it is the truth and it is so. And together let us say, and so it is. Amen and amen. So I'll turn it over to you, Jerry.
Whew. Thank you, Reverend June. have to come to church on Sunday to get the full effect, to get everything that you deserve, to come in and accept it. And this has just been an enjoyable Sunday. And now if you would just put your feet flat on the floor and just take a nice cleansing breath. And we'll do our benediction. We just give thanks for this time that we have had together. Give thanks for the message that we've received today, the wonderful music, the fantastic lesson that we've gotten from Reverend June. And we know that we are blessed for this week. We are filled this week. We are so satisfied and so filled up. And I just give thanks for this time that we've had. And if you're in agreement with me, you can say with me, so it is, and so I let it be. Amen and amen. And now for our announcements. You know that practitioners are available for personal prayer and assistance after the service on Sunday mornings. Prayer request forms are on the backs of the chairs in the sanctuary. Just fill them out and put them into the prayer chest up here in the front. Or if you're on email, you can email your request to fran10_10@att.net. And all of these requests are 100% confidential. When called upon to support the work of God with your money, do you give until it hurts or hurt when you give? The Daily Walk Bible, the Living Bible. Refuse all temptations to complain and refuse to grumble or complain about your situation. Another day, money cometh. Dr. Leroy Thompson. Now, this completes today's service, and we'll gather and do the peace song. Thank you.